Okay, let's take a look at the shape replication exercises from the Bargue plate and compare them to what we just did with the shape replication using the envelope. Um, you'll notice a difference here. One, that you're looking at a the side view of an eye, okay, and that there's a combination of lines that are angles and a few curves. So in that sense, they're the same. There's no bounding box around this, although you could put one. They use a center line. I'm going to help you use that as a device to draw from. Okay, so you can use that as the reference angle. So I'm going to go over here and take a look at this. Actually, let me switch it this way, a little more focus. So you have a little more closer view here, what I'm doing. All right, so I'm going to take this across and look at, here's the top of that, and here's about the bottom. So it's this. So at the top of the alignment, and about right there. Okay. I think it's more like that. You can kind of look at this length. Notice it's longer on this side, so we check the distance here, and then check the distance here, which is going to have an effect and help you determine these relationships. Okay, so drawing is all about relationship here. So we want to, all right. So now also I'm starting with a 3H pencil so I can draw lightly before I go to a darker pencil. So I'm looking at this about, here's the end of this line, and so this nose line, I'm going to use a lot of angles here. Okay, so I'm going to put this, and it's slightly from the end of the line there, so I have that angle started, and the intersection is just above that line, and it comes straight. That is a vertical. Okay, so then we're going to take a look at the height of that line. Okay, go here. There's that. And then we have a diagonal. Showing this diagonal. And the curve. Coming down. And then coming over here. These you might feel confident enough to eyeball them. Actually, this curve's a little more like that. Okay, coming across, looking at this distance here. Then there's a diagonal. I'm kind of using my visual memory to remember these angles and where they are. I made it too far away from that because it crosses this X here. It should cross that. It should cross that X there at the bottom. All right, so this coming across, and then This is here somewhere, but you want to check that distance. Yep. So there it is. So now there's that, and we know that this line comes in at about this angle from that point here, but we can again check our check this and let this come across, and it does come under there. There's a distance here that we can give ourselves some idea. It's right in here. This should. Okay, so I have that part. What we're looking at is the bridge of a nose, the roll of an eyelid, and the plane of an eyeball, and the lower lid coming down. This has been stylized to be pretty much all straight edges, not too many curves here. And then this comes up and then goes over. It's pretty right there, that way. We have this coming down like that, and okay. Now, with a very light line, I am making these kind of, hairy, sketchy lines, which we talked about trying to get rid of. Drawing line confidence, but we want to establish directions as well. There's that. There's this. So that looks off. That's off. There. So we don't like that. So that's why you draw lightly, so you can make these corrections. There it is. I have that. Okay. This comes in slightly differently than that. I think this is back more. Okay. There we go. And then this is back here some, kind of at this angle, not much of an angle. All right, so I have everything I need there, and it looks pretty good in terms of my reference to the horizontal and vertical and these distances. Okay, so remember that the horizontal and vertical are here for your reference. It's always a reference point. If you want to draw accurately anything, you want to have reference points, you want to work these out. Until you see these illustrators that are able to just kind of free hand characters, and many of you might be able to do that as well, but that comes from practice. And so to expand your drawing capabilities, you want to practice some other skills. So now I'm going to sharpen up these lines, finalize these lines with a darker, it's the 4B pencil. My lighter lines will disappear without too much. You get a good hand get a pretty good hand at erasing too. I have this line. So now I'm putting the crafting this drawing. Just like that. All right, so so that's not a bad replication of that drawing. And these Bargue plates are like the standard in master copy work. And if you get through these, or I'd say do 6 of them here. So 6, and you'll see the due date come up when we get to them. The end of next week. So we'll look at Friday, September 18th. Okay. You're going to do 6, Friday, September 18th. So on this one, let's look at this one. Kind of gives us a very complex grid system here. So this angle, we start with 3H. So coming across, I line this length up. I'll do it this way. So that's about the length of that diagonal. Okay. And here we have this diagonal. Now, finding out where that is, we need to get a length there. You can use your hands and fingers like this, and just so that we're pretty close. You want to get it as close as possible. If you really want to get really into the precision, use a compass or something like that. But okay, so those are the 3 lines. We have this one going at that angle. They're all going at the same angle. Okay, so this is what is known as a gamut. I think I'm going to just worry about the length of these lines here. So make sure you have those lengths. This this side doesn't matter. Okay. So up at the top, I'm just going to look at where these things intersect. And we have this comes down, that line comes down. You notice why they put that there is because it intersects like what's considered the middle of the lips. Okay. And then just above here is the bottom of that chin, right? And just below there is where the chin comes through. So you can start to work your way through these intersections. Check that angle here. Okay, so far, I'm going to make this a little long. Pull that back a little bit with the eraser. All right, and so I'm looking at this line, just comes across here, and then, so I'm looking at everything in relationship to this axis line, and really what just intersects it, it comes off of it. So here's this. And there's this out here, which catches this line, and catches this line. Pretty close. I'm going to do enough of these that we get in practice. It's this. Okay. Now, this is the one where I will take just a bit of a measurement. And so out here is that, and then I want the proximity here to be different. So this crosses here. I think this comes in closer. Pull this in closer, and then that up like that. So I think that feels better. Yeah. Check the angle of this little. Check the angle of this little nostril. my angle's off, so it's really like this. So this should be here. It should be like that. Now it looks a little more together. That looks like it's seated together better. So now it's just working on my line quality for, you want to pay attention to your line quality. Nice dark lines. Nice dark confident lines. Check that angle. I think mine's wrong. I did it before I actually had the, yeah. Okay, and then this, and this. Check this angle. I think mine's off. Yep. And this is there. I think this angle's fine. This angle's fine. All right. So that looks pretty good. All right, we'll stop there, and those are those two pages.